Hi friends, how are you today? If you are struggling with how to deal with bad attitudes, bad behavior, your kids not wanting to get their schoolwork done during your homeschool, then hopefully this video will be helpful to you today to see how we handle all of that, to see the system that we've put in place that has been working really, really great for us. So I want to share the nuts and bolts of that with you today, so stay tuned. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Sarah from the Johnson Crew, and my husband Bud and I have 4 beautiful children that are 10, 8, 6, and 3, and we have been homeschooling for about 7 years now, and we've done a lot of trial and error. Yeah. We've done a lot of just trying to figure out what works best for our family and how to do this whole homeschooling thing. So I want to bring some of those experiences in and try to offer some tips and help for any of you who are also trying to figure it out. That's the beautiful thing about this YouTube community that we have here, that we can share things that we've learned, share our experiences, and help each other. Even when our homeschools look really different, we can still learn so much from each other. So really appreciate you guys being here today. Definitely leave a comment below, introduce yourself if you're new here, and just let me know if there's other behavioral systems that you've tried before. Let us know the pros and cons so we can kind of pull from your experience as well. Okay, so taking you back a couple of years, a little bit of history here. We're doing homeschool, and let's see, when my oldest was like 7, so like second grade year, I also had a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. Something like that. And so things were like a little bit hectic, and that's the year that I feel like school gets a little bit more intense. Intense isn't really a great word for it, but there's a little bit more to do. There's a little bit more work to do. So that was the year that I felt like, our normal discipline isn't working great for school time. Like, it's kind of derailing us. What's a different way that we can handle things during school time specifically that's going to be productive for school? How am I going to help him be motivated, and how am I going to help him stay on track and change his attitude when maybe he's in a grumpy mood or obstinate mood, whatever. And so, talked it over with my husband, probably till I was blue in the face. And he's just so wise. And anyways, we talked about some different ideas, and he came up with this system that we've been using for the last couple of years. That's worked really well. We have made some tweaks to it. So I did make a video a couple of years back, but we've tweaked a couple of things. So I wanted to do a new updated video about how we do this. And he has coined this the STAR system. Okay, so when I refer to the STAR system in any other video, now you'll know what I'm talking about. So what is the STAR system? So basically, the kids get 5 stars to start their day with. So I think this is really a good part of it, that they start out in the positive, right? They're not having to earn up those stars. We've given them 5 to start with. And so the positive reinforcement part of this system is that at the end of every week, they get to go shopping in the STAR store. And I'll show you what's in that at the end of the video. But they get to pick out a prize at the end of the week with the stars that they've earned over the week, or the stars that they've kept during the week. The negative part of it, negative reinforcement part, is that if they lose a star, they obviously have less spending power at the end of the week, less stars that they can spend in the STAR store. So that's a bummer, right? And then the other piece that we have to this is that if they lose all 5 of their stars in one day, then they lose their iPad time that afternoon. Now, I'm sure every family is different. Maybe you don't even do iPads at all. Whatever it is, fill in the blank. That would be a good consequence. I say good as in like, it's going to be something that really means something to them. Whatever that is for your kid, then that would be the thing that they would lose that day. So this is something that's going to happen after after school time is over. It's not like they're going to go in timeout right in the middle of school. This is something that they would normally get after school time. And so they really don't want to lose all their stars because they love getting to have their iPad time in the afternoon. So that works really well as a good motivator to them. And actually, as they've gotten older, so like for my 8 and 10-year-old, my rule with them is that if they lose 3 stars in one day, then they lose their iPad time that afternoon, because I feel like they're old enough to where they should not be able to just like have so many infractions within one day without a bigger consequence than the loss of like star store points. Does that make sense? So those are the rules around the star system. Now, what are star losable infractions, right? Let's talk about what those are. And this is what you've got to prep your kids with, right? They've got to know the boundaries, okay? So for us, it is having bad attitudes, like arguing with me and refusing to do something that I've asked them to do, or just being ugly back to me, like a disrespectful tone, or if I've like given them a certain time limit that's really reasonable for them to get their work done and it's clear that they weren't even trying, like they just kind of sat there and dawdled around and didn't try at all to get their work done, that's a star losing offense for sure. Or like, getting up and being crazy when they're supposed to be sitting down and getting something done. Those kinds of things for us are, okay, you're going to lose a star for that. Oh, and like fighting with a sibling during school time, you're going to lose a star for that. So really a very big key piece to having the star system even work for you is prepping your kids for this. You got to really prep them. Like I'm talking probably a couple of weeks before you want to implement this. You want to start getting them on board. You want to tell them how it's going to work. Everything I just shared with you about how you keep your stars, what's going to happen if you lose all your stars, and then the exciting part about how they get to spend their stars at the star store at the end of the week, everything that they've kept all week long. If you've been a really good listener and had a good attitude, you get to pick out a prize, yay, and get them excited, get them on board. Let them know specifically, hey, these things, if you do them during school time, you're gonna lose a star. Like there's not gonna be warnings. You're just gonna lose a star. And so that very first week that you implement the star system, you're gonna have to stick to your guns. You're gonna really have to stick to your guns, or else the star system really loses its power and they're not gonna respect it and it's gonna seem like a joke, right? So we got to really stick to our guns in order to make the system work. So that means if they do those things that you've already warned them about, sorry, buddy, you got to lose a star. What's nice about the star system though, rather than like, all right, now you're in timeout or now you've lost this or whatever it is that you would normally use as discipline, losing a star is not such a big deal. It can be enough to help them get back on track, refocus up, put more effort forth and try to have a better attitude. But thankfully, it's not enough of a big deal consequence that they're then going to like burst into tears and be so sad or like, be stuck in timeout so that now they can't even get any work done. Does that make sense? So that's why I feel like this works really well for us. But the fact that if they lose all their stars in one day, there is a bigger consequence waiting for them, which is for us losing their iPad time that afternoon. That is a good reminder to them that you need to get back in line, buddy. You need to really shape up, or this is going to be a real bummer of a consequence for you. So that does help a lot. And the positive part of it really works too. They do get really excited about earning up their stars to get these different points. They really look forward to Star Store Fridays that they get to pick out a prize. So all of those things have been wonderful motivators and a great way to kind of turn things around and get them back on track when things kind of veer off the rails, right? Okay, so we talked about getting your kids prepped for starting the star system and really sticking to your guns that very first week, especially. Now let's talk about how to keep track of their stars. So when we first started, we were just using our dry erase board, and I would put their 5 stars on the board for each kid to start the day. And then, I could easily erase them and then easily add them back in the next day. So that works for like the day of keeping track. But the way that I was keeping track of their stars like day to day and week to week was just on a piece of paper inside my desk, which they couldn't see, obviously. And then it was kind of out of sight, out of mind for me. And sometimes I would forget to write stuff down. Sometimes I'd forget to write down how many stars they used in the star store. And so like the keeping track thing really went off the rails. And then the star system kind of lost its power. So this year I have gotten way more organized, and it's working really great. And I've been able to be really consistent with keeping track. So let me share that with you. So over here, I've got my bulletin board. This is my desk that I sit at, and I've got kids on both sides of me. So everybody can see this board really well. So I just made this template in Excel, and then I laminated it because I love my laminator. You've seen my other videos. And that way I can easily, erase and write it back on there if I need to. Down here I've got day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, because we are a 4-day-a-week homeschoolers. And so I can write down how many stars they earned that day. And then at the bottom I've got the week's total, so I can total up each kid's amount. And then I transfer that over to this other sheet where I'm keeping track of their week-to-week stars. So let me show you this one. Now this one does not need to be laminated. So if you don't have a laminator, but you do have a dry erase board or something else where you can do the daily stars, use that. And then this is just a piece of paper. So I also made this in Excel. And so on every other line, I wrote down the week's dates for each week of the school year. And then every other line underneath that, I wrote used and then total left in parentheses. So when we go to the star store and we use their stars, I'm able to write down, okay, minus this many stars, that's how many they used. And then in parentheses is how many they have left. Because I do put some things in the star store that might take them like 2 weeks to save up for and earn. And some weeks they don't have quite enough to get like a big prize. They can only get like a small piece of candy. So anyways, that's where the keeping track is really important. And what's really great about having it up on the wall is that they can see it anytime, any day. It's there. They know what they have. And that's motivating too. Like they know how close they are to earning whatever prize it is that they've got their eye on. So I do like having it posted up for them to see. Now I want to show you what's in our star store. Okay. Ta-da! Okay, so here's my bin. Yeah, I'm cheesy. I laminated this too. It says Star Store. You don't have to go and do all of that. Just need a little bin to put your little prizes in. But in here, I just went to the Dollar Tree. Like, this didn't cost me very much money. Just went to the Dollar Tree. Now, they don't know how much each of these cost me, so I can put whatever value on them I want, and they don't really know. So I've just taken these little white stickers like you would use for yard sale prices and put those on these and just priced them out. And so for us, we do homeschool 4 days a week. So they have the potential of earning 20 stars per week, right? Now, obviously, they're not going to earn 20 stars every single week. And so I wanted to still have things in here that they could earn even if they didn't keep all their stars during the week. I don't want them to be discouraged that they couldn't get anything, right? We still want to reward them for a pretty good week or even a fairly good week. So I've got in here like Tootsie Rolls. These are 5 stars each. So they could easily get one or a couple of those. And then I've got this bag of lollipops, which they think are super cool. And these are 12 stars each. Whoops. And then these bubbles actually came 3 in a pack. And I put 15 stars on these. This 48-piece puzzle I put in there for 25 stars. An LOL craft kit, also 25 stars. little like off-brand Lego guys, superheroes. And I also got this like wizard set. So these are 28 per set. So they'd have to save up more than 1 week's worth of stars in order to earn these. But even if they wanted to save, they could still get like 1 Tootsie Roll, right, for 5 stars and still be saving the rest of their stars for the next week. So I feel like it's working well to have small stuff and then bigger stuff in here. One last thing that I'll show you that I have on the inside of this bin is a little chart with a few other things that are not like tangible prizes. So one of them says for 20 stars, you get 30 minutes of extra iPad time. Ooh. That's like really exciting for them. For 35 stars, you can stay up for 30 extra minutes, which is a big deal. And then for 50 stars, you can get a new book. And I actually asked my oldest son, what are some things that you'd like to have? Because I was kind of worried that he wouldn't be into some of the stuff that I could find at the Dollar Tree. And so he helped me put those things on the list. Funny enough, he hasn't actually gotten any of those things yet. He's chosen prizes from in here, so that's great. I'm glad that it still works really well for him. Even though he's 10, he's still into this. It's still a powerful tool. I'm sure that that is kind of coming to an end here soon, or we'll just have to really tweak what the rewards are. I don't know. We'll see. And if you have older kids and have some insight on that, please share in the comments below. So this has worked really well for us. We started this at like age 6 for each of the kids, like the keeping track of stars part of it. For my 3-year-old, I'll still let him pick out a prize, but we're not like keeping track of stars. Like he's 3, he doesn't really know. But I still let him join in and have fun with us. And the older kids don't seem to mind that he's getting to earn a prize. So it's all worked out well. So that is everything that I have to share with you. Hopefully that is helpful to you. Please let me know if you end up trying out this system in your homeschool. I'd love to know how it works for y'all. I will leave a video up at the end of this one that you can click on next that I think will be really helpful to you. And I will catch you in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have an amazing school year. Happy schooling!